Here we go.
Why do I don't? What?
Oh.
Oh, five
wait.
idiots.
5
Okay.
idiots.
Yes, I had to count. I couldn't count. That's what I was literally doing for 30
Are
seconds.
you calling
of
us
counting.
idiots? That's a great intro, though. Honestly,
What?
the 5 idiots. The 5 idiots. Yeah. Calling us out like
three
that.
peens in a pod.
What? That's exactly what I'm referencing.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Choch Squad. This is episode 2. Today we actually have a guest speaker on. If you'd like to introduce yourself, it is Momma J3ster. Would you like to say anything? For the people listening, not watching, that is.
Whoa, okay, hold up, dude.
Okay, never mind. If you
Do
want.
you want to say anything?
Yeah.
I'm doing great
Um,
so far. This is fantastic.
Great. There we go. Okay. So today we're talking about teachers, and this was a topic brought up by J3ster actually. So he's kind of gonna lead the discussion today. Take it away, boss.
All right. Well, first, like when I think about teachers, I know a lot of them have been wanting to get like raises lately and earn more money. So I wanted to bring that up because in my experience, I've come across a lot of teachers who, I think yes deserve the raise because they put a lot into their job and they really want their students to excel and become successful. And then there's other teachers that I've experienced a lot of more than others, where they just don't give a fuck about their jobs and that they're just in it for the money. This is, oh yeah, I want to be a teacher, but then they don't put anything towards it. They more or less are just, this is a career that they, sought to become, a teacher, and then they weren't prepared themselves, whether it's like, oh yeah, I'm a kindergarten teacher and I want to teach little kids, but I don't know how to deal with kids. Or even when they go to high school, they're like, oh, these kids have attitudes and they're just assholes, so I don't want to really give my time to them. So that's how I've seen it. What if everybody else experienced?
So, a lot of my experience with teachers is either fantastic or like absolutely horrible, and there's really not much of an in between. I think the worst people I've come across have been on the college level, which sucks because you're paying for school, and at that point, your time literally is your money. And getting failed in a class because of a bad professor, it's not the way that you want to spend your money, especially when you can only take, like in engineering, I'm in engineering, you can only take your required course material 3 times. If you fail it 3 times to bad professors, you're kicked out of the program and you can no longer be an engineer and you have to change your major. So teachers are a huge deal for our major. Yeah, that I've got a couple friends who have had to change their majors due to that, and it's not a good time. High school, for me, grade school, that was like super easy in my book, so I didn't really come across any like horrible teachers through there. I came across a creep once, which was interesting. Beyond the point.
Does happen, yeah.
But I've also had some professors through my life that have really changed my life in a positive direction. So that's my experience with it. What about the rest of you guys?
We're talking about they should get paid more?
Well, I mean, should they get paid more? I mean, because we have a lot of teachers who, are actually dedicated to helping students succeed, and then there's other teachers who just don't give a fuck.
It's pretty easy to see who is who in that situation because like just ask the students who like aren't jackasses. They'll give you the real answers whether they deserve more or not. Honestly, that's my opinion. Like I can tell you from my experience, like my years of school, who deserves a raise and who doesn't. Like people go out of their way without being asked to, and that goes so much further than having to ask someone to go out of their way and help. And not even like I'm asking people to. It's not even like you ask a teacher to go out of their way. It's just like you ask for help and they act like it's going out of their way when it's really not. It's their job, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
that's the thing too, though. They don't think it's part of the job. They think I'm gonna give you what I'm supposed to give you, and then you figure it out. They don't understand actually how to teach, so they don't really decide to put in the work for it. when
Right.
But the whole thing about teachers putting in work, that kind of hits home for me. I'm not gonna lie, because there was one instance where I was put in danger, and the teacher could have definitely prevented it, like a teacher is supposed to do. The teacher's priority should be not only teaching the kids but keeping them safe, because we trust our kids to be away from us 8 hours a day by somebody who has a degree. And we're like, okay, well, here's our kid. See you later, I guess. And we expect them to be safe and okay. And that instance really struck a chord inside of me. And since then, I've been very not trusting about teachers.
I think
Would
a
you-
lot of. Oh wait,
Go ahead.
you ask a question or?
no, go ahead.
Okay. I think a lot of it kind of goes into a little like of the political spectrum with teacher unions, and unions are in a lot of different workplaces and work areas, and they can be good, protecting rights and workers not being exploited and things like that. But I've seen just a lot of damage that's done, and I think a lot of that is with teachers who are tenured, and I've personally seen that is you have these teachers who have been in the district for, and it may be different for different states, but at least in my county, they're there for at least 10 years, and you're basically in a position to where you can't really be fired even for, poor performance and poor grades from those students that you're teaching. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's super
makes no
extreme. Well, it's because they've just been with the district and they've apparently shown, excellence and determination. So they get tenured, and basically, they get paid a little bit more, and they're kind of locked into their job. And I was in 6th grade, and one of my history teachers, it was his 9th year. And then I also had him in 10th grade for history as well. And I saw a complete flip and a complete change in how he taught. 6th grade, he was really hands-on, and you could ask him questions, go to him personally. He was a really nice guy. And then when it came to sophomore year, it was more kind of on your own, which that happens as you go up a grade level. They're trying to prepare you for life, and you're not always going to have that helping hand, I get, but it was more of just, here you go. And it's just a complete shift in his mentality of teaching. So I think that has something to do with it for sure. Not the whole entire thing, but some teachers are just lazy all the time. And some teachers are good. I just think it's hard to find those teachers because they really have nothing to lose at that point when you're tenured. You still have to teach and maintain a certain performance level, but it's kind of like a safety blanket. You know what I mean? So I think that has something to do with it.
They're doing the bare minimum to get by,
Right,
pretty much.
right, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I've seen personally.
Yeah, within saying that, it's just like a lot of money isn't even being put into schools either. Myself, as I was in a different school every single school year. 6th grade, I was in 3 different schools, all the way up until high school, and the fact that I was either ahead of the curriculum, behind the curriculum, or just right in between, it was so non-consistent on what the curriculum was, and a lot of it was moving within the same state. I would go from one state to another and then move around that one state, and it was just so different, and just having that, and I feel like that's part of what the teachers are teaching as well, how hands-on the teachers are. Because in the 7th grade, I had one teacher, she was my science teacher, who absolutely hated me. Granted, I was a little shithead, but still, she would go out of her way to make sure I got in trouble. There was a point where I knew she hated me, so I went to my counselor and was like, hey, I do not want her as my teacher anymore. So I would have to go to the other part of the school just so I could go to science. And she would literally follow me down the hall. Bella! Sorry. She would follow me down the hallway to make sure I went to class. And if I went to the bathroom first, she was on my ass just to yell at me. when she could be like in her classroom getting ready for her lecture with her students, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's shit like that. It's just like, why are you a teacher? What is the point of this, you know?
Right. I don't know.
And
That's kind of insane though. Like a little
Yeah,
weird
dude.
too. Yeah.
That's one
Speaking
thing that I
on that-
noticed. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I saw a lot of that kinds of behavior with certain teachers in my high school, and I stayed at the same high school, same elementary school, all of that, all the way through. And there was definitely that favoritism and the teachers that would specifically try to get kids in danger, or like not in danger, but get them in trouble and literally make their lives miserable. So I've had not personal experience, but I've seen that happen to kids in my grade before. Go ahead.
That's happened. Sorry, no, continue. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm done. Go ahead.
Sorry, I got really excited. There was, in middle school, every year, 6th, 7th, and 8th, there was always one teacher that hated me, and I couldn't understand why. I had ADHD growing up, and if I missed a pill or if I missed a patch, then it would be the hardest day ever for me to pay attention. And I remember getting in trouble for God knows what. That teacher hated me. It was my English teacher, and she tried to get me to go to like after school detention or something like that. And I told her, I'm sorry, I can't do that. My parents aren't going to allow that, and I don't feel like I did anything wrong. So what's the point in making me stay? And she just walked off and went to her desk. And at the end of the day, I told her, okay, bye? Question mark. And I waited for her to respond, and she never did. Walked out. Next day, 2 of my teachers brought it up to me, saying, hey, why didn't you stay after school? Hey, why did you leave? And I was like, do you have to tell all of my teachers something that happened between you and I?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have stopped me from leaving? Or why couldn't you have sat down and had an intelligent discussion with me about what I did, why you thought that it was wrong, and then maybe you would have heard my opinion and my side, and maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. So, sorry, that brought up, and it made me very upset.
Hey, Frank.
Huh.
Sounds like something we know, right? No, just we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Talk about his.
I probably know, but yeah.
Yeah, you see
Inappropriate.
for yourself.
Inappropriate.
Yeah,
Inappropriate.
no. It's just between me and you that would know the joke.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'll shut
Anyway.
the fuck up. I'll go back to mute.
All right. Cool. So I have a couple questions. You guys want to go over some of these? So this is, I mean, personally, I think this is important, but how big of a factor do you guys believe that teachers are when it comes to students passing and failing courses? Because, you know, they obviously are the ones teaching, but I mean, it also depends on the curriculum and the course itself. So what do you guys think?
50%.
I think it's a huge factor.
Yeah.
You know, the teacher is going to teach the style that they know,
Mhm.
and not all students are going to pick up on that. Students say it's a math class. I'm naturally good with numbers, so I'm going to be good in that class regardless. But I'm more of a hands-on learner myself as well. So, you know, you can write notes on the board all day long, and some kids are going to pick it up versus other kids because they need to actually work it out themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some teachers are like, well, you're either going to learn it my way or you're just screwed. And then, you know, they go home and be like, hey, I didn't pass because my teacher's not doing this. And they're like, well, maybe it's you, blah, blah, blah. And then it just causes a fiasco. So I think teachers are a huge contribution to, you know, if somebody's passing or failing.
Teacher, it's your job to teach others. And if that means you have to sit down and talk one-on-one with a certain kid, then that's what you have to do. Just like you said, you learn hands-on. Maybe Sapphire learns by writing. I mean, that's 2 different styles. But you need to take the time and say, hey, I care about you passing. I care about your education, because that's what you're there for. You're there to educate and help, you know, help the future, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's your job. If you don't, then why are you there? Are you there because it's easy? Are you there because, oh, this is available? Like, no, you need to take the time and say, I care.
Yeah, I
I've
agree.
had both of those instances in learning before, and they're both actually in college. So my freshman year, I was under a professor for statistics. It's measuring forces on non-moving objects. It's a great class, great fun. But my first time taking that class, I failed it. The professor was a good professor. He knew what he was talking about. It's just not in a way that I understood. But I'm really happy that I took it that first time around, because taking it with a different professor the second time around, where I wasn't a fan of the first professor, as soon as I got to the second professor, and the second professor was all about talking about why the equations are what they are, where you're getting the variables from, why you need those variables for different equations and things like that. And that clicked in my mind. But the previous professor that I had taken with was all about examples. So he'd work out the problems, work out the problems, work out the problems. So you'd get to a point where you could basically memorize what equation goes where and why it goes where in regards to numbers. So you're looking at I goes here. I don't know why I goes there, but I just memorized that I goes there. Whereas the second class kind of brought all of that together to bring a total understanding to the course. So in that instance, I was really, really happy to have taken it 2 semesters, because I felt like I had a better overall understanding of the material. However, for the second scenario, there was a professor that, have you ever had like teachers that you ask a question in class to try to understand it better and they just make you feel stupid?
Yeah.
I have teachers
yeah.
who tell me to figure it out.
Oh God, that's annoying.
Yeah, they don't even help you. They're just like, you figure it out.
Hence, I got a C in math.
Oh.
I reported that
Hurts
teacher
me
to the
so
school
much.
Which you should. Like,
Rep-
did the school do
yeah.
anything about it?
I don't know, but I hope she's fired and never fucking teaches again. She's the worst ever. Sorry to interrupt, but she's just dog shit,
Reported
so.
for griefing, right?
No, she was literally. I ask a question for an answer in class, and I get, well, you should be paying attention. Well, you should fucking shut the fuck up.
How about you help me because I asked a question I don't understand. Help me.
That's the reason why I don't go to professors for questions anymore, because I had that a lot in high school. Just the non-committal answers or just no answers in general, and then you go to them after class and they just made you feel like you're stupid. And like I ran into that my spring semester of my sophomore year with a professor. I failed the class. I followed along in all of his classes. I did all the homework. I bombed all the exams. That was great. And on the last day of classes before finals, he stopped me at the end of class and he's like, I believe in you. You're going to be one of the kids that passes. And I was like, no. I know that I'm going into this final and I'm going to fail it. There is no preparation that can save my grade from this. There is nothing can be done to make me pass this class at this point in time. And he's like, why didn't you ever ask questions? Why didn't you ever like stop me? And I was like, because people asked questions that I needed the answers to, and you made us all feel stupid. You answered it in such a way that you made us feel inferior, so we stopped asking questions.
It was very demeaning.
Yeah.
Yes. And it wasn't in a way that he was trying to be demeaning. It's just
Condescending.
in a way, but like there's some personalities that the way that they talk to others comes out that way even if they're not trying to, or they're dismissive about certain factors if you keep pressing the question to try to make it understood to the professor. So like we would ask him a question and he would explain it and we'd be like, okay, so why is this part of this answer? And he would like try to go into it and we'd be like, okay, but we still don't understand. And he'd be like, whatever, you'll figure it out through examples and stuff like that. And it's just, I can usually teach myself through a class, but it was to the point of the way that he taught that I couldn't teach myself anything.
That's
I
the
had
thing, though.
no
You
idea
shouldn't
what I
have
was
to
doing.
teach yourself. In my opinion, you shouldn't have to teach yourself. You shouldn't have to go and find a tutor. I understand if you're like falling behind and everything like that, but it's the teacher's job to make sure that you're with the group. People are going to tend to fall behind. Some people are going to tend to get ahead, but you want to keep them all correlated as possible so that, everybody's passing. But when some people get behind, they're like, "Oh, well, go get extra help." I don't know what to tell you. That's like, what? Then why the fuck are you here?
Hmm.
No,
Fun
those are
fact
the
about.
teachers I hate.
Sorry, go ahead. What'd you say, Nico?
I just said those are people I hate.
Yeah, and that's very frustrating for me. I'm here to ask you for help, and you're just shitting on me right now. Like, but I like, especially like high school. It's like you have to be there. Middle school, you have to be there. But it's like, why am I here if I'm not even going to get the help I'm supposed to get?
Hmm.
You-
Fun fact with that professor, though, the entire class failed, and that professor never came back to teaching at our school. So, yay for the people that came after us. It was his first year teaching that class in our school. Apparently, he had taught other classes, and after that class, he never came back to our school. So, thankfully for the people that came after, they didn't have to deal with any of that. But that is one of the worst teacher experiences I've had in that regard.
To your point,
So,
Jester,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I feel like some of the responsibility is going to be put on the student. I mean, you're right. Like, I agree with you. Like, the teacher is there to make sure that, everyone is on the same wavelength and really understanding the information. And you want to try to keep everyone together. But I feel like there are those students that, that on maybe purposely aren't paying attention. And obviously those are some abnormalities. But obviously, especially in high school, you'll see it more because, like you said, we have to be there, the first 12 grades. But then in college, you tend to not see that because, I mean, you're paying for those classes. You're paying to be there. You're paying to get an education. So I would hope if you're paying for it, you're not paying attention, right? So, but I do feel like some of that responsibility is on the student to, kind of go that extra mile because we're talking about the teachers, not doing the bare minimum teaching. Well, we want the students to also not do the bare minimum and kind of go above and beyond and kind of do their own studying at home and maybe even do a little bit more research on their own to help better their studies. So I'm not saying they need to go full blown, Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
and that was my problem in high school. I was just lazy, so I didn't
Yeah.
The reason I would like start to fail classes is because I just didn't do like my homework,
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew it. I just didn't want to do it, and that I can understand where it is the student's fault, and I can understand where that the teacher frustration comes in. I'm not saying the teachers are totally at fault. There's like I said, kids are assholes,
Yeah.
especially in high school. They're going to have attitudes. They're going to be rebellious, and they're just not going to give a fuck. But when you become a teacher to teach high school students, that's what you have to prepare yourself for. Is you're going to deal with that, and you need to figure out a plan to like counteract it to make them understand, hey, this is what you're going to need. This is what you want to do so you can continue on and become successful in whatever you're trying to do.
That's true
Yeah.
in that aspect. I gotta say, kids, you're right. Kids can be total assholes. My high school experience was honestly not the best. We were total dicks. We were awful. We put my art class. We had a substitute actually, and my art class took a condom and wrapped it around the teacher's drink, like around the They were awful.
This man took
They
a
were
dive off the
bad.
cam for that one.
They were bad.
That's great. That's great.
The school that I
That's
went to
beautiful.
was called Cap Rock, and we were crap rocked by every substitute that we had because nobody wanted to go and sub there. We were terrible. We were awful kids.
Listen. I think like I like to split it down the middle. If you can't go home, if you can't go to school and try to understand the work, and then you go home, and then you're like, I got so much homework, I don't know what I'm doing. Blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe you should have paid attention in class. And at that point, you
Yeah.
can go home and you can look it up. Like find the answers and learn how to do it. Like YouTube how to do like math or what this means or what that means, and maybe you'll learn something. But there's kids who literally don't do that, and then they wonder why they're not graduating or walking across the stage for graduation because they're literally dumb because they choose not to do work, and it's not even the teacher's fault. But then there's like other times, like I don't know.
Yeah,
Where
I
I'm
mean-
going with this. I'm just saying,
I mean, you
kids
could-
are
No,
stupid,
like-
and they choose to be dumb, and then they're like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I want to graduate. Well, you're dumb, and you choose to be dumb. You chose to be nothing, to do nothing.
I
about it.
agree. There's a lot of people out there who just don't, like I said, like who don't want to put in the work, who just want to be handed all the answers. They sit in class, goof off, do whatever, and then they go home and they're like, oh shit, I got homework, I don't know how to do it. And then your family's like, well, why the fuck not? Well, my teacher, blah blah blah, and then they go to the school and your teacher's like, now your kid's a fucking idiot, and then they get yelled at again,
Yeah. I mean, it's
I don't
Go
know.
ahead,
Go ahead,
bud.
buddy.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, buddy.
No,
Go on,
you're
go ahead.
good. No, you're good. No, you're good. No, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's really just
Yeah,
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. There's only so much the teacher is going to do, and at the end of the day, if they're not going to put in the work, and the teacher's done everything that they can, maybe either stayed after with a couple students or extra help, whatever the case may be, they put in the effort and they taught to their best of their ability. And explained things over and over. It's up to the student at that point to really grasp it and take it that one step further and learn it. So, yeah.
Can I bring it back to like people going out of their way, like a teacher?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I just remembered I had her last semester too. I had this humanities teacher, and I was like, I was struggling at some point, and just to understand things, and I couldn't really keep up with work and like write essays because my arms are really messed up, and like sitting there typing for more than an hour is killing me. So like I let this professor know, and she like going out of her way, she literally like for some of the homework assignments, she made them so I can record my voice and just use as an answer, and like because like I couldn't sit there and just keep typing. I couldn't go to all my classes and then end up doing like an essay for another one. So she like let me turn these essays in late, knowing I'm using speech to text and doing all this and that. And she even sat with me. She's even Zoom called, even in my other class, just to help me understand these things and do final projects like that, above and beyond, out of the way. And she doesn't even have to, like most of these things. But just to do that made me so much happier, and it made my life easier. It caused me less pain too, because not typing an essay is pretty great. Using just speech to text and taking a little bit longer is fantastic. So pretty great when people go out of their way. And then there's that one math bitch that literally wouldn't answer a question, and then I let the school know, hey, she needs, what the hell is this? She needs get out. Like, it was horrible. My mother could not believe when I told her, like, I asked this lady a question and she doesn't answer it, like, ever. And the lady knew damn well I suck at math. Like, I'm the worst at math. I don't know how to do math. I'm literally horrible at it. So, and yeah, she knew I was that bad at math and chose still not to help me. Pretty great. Choches. Fucking choches.
Choches.
Touches.
So kind of on the same wavelength as, teachers that go above and beyond. Did you guys have maybe any sort of stories or any like memorable teachers that were kind of personal with you, more than just, instead of like just a formal sense of being a teacher, they kind of, I wouldn't know how to really explain it, but just personal. Maybe you could talk to, maybe even about like life things or other things going on outside of school.
The one I just met, the one I was just talking about, not the bitch, but the other one that's helpful. She follows me on Twitter, and like I can DM her, and she'll probably answer stuff, even though I'm not on that school anymore. And like she even since she followed me on Twitter before like I was done with school, she knew about streaming and stuff. So she damn well could have watched a stream or something, which I hope to God she didn't.
I was about to say, yeah.
I doubt she didn't. So no, she knows I do this stuff, and she was actually like she was genuinely like interested in it. And I told her, I let her know, and she was curious if I made money and all this and that. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's possible, it's great. Like, I've talked about stuff. I would never tell a professor that, but like I like her a lot. She's great. I even wanted her class again. So like I let her know about this stuff. And you know, that's a professor I've talked to. I've never like talked to a teacher otherwise, like ever. Like that, like just more than beyond school.
See, I've had 2 teachers that have been really good influences in my life. One of them was in high school. My junior and senior year, he was a math professor. Sorry if I cry.
Oh boy.
He was the kind of teacher that if you were like not understanding something and you asked a question in class, he would go back through the entire problem and have you help him go through it so that you could understand what was happening and make sure that everybody in class understood why everything was happening in the problem so that we could all pass the class with an A. He was one of those teachers that took the time and took the time after class and took the time after school, took the time before school. He made time. His students were his life. And at that point in my life, I was going through a really rough time. And like, he wasn't one of the teachers that I would like talk about my life to because, well, I don't really talk about my life to very many people at all. But he knew I was going through a rough time. And whenever I'd come in to talk to him, because I usually didn't need help with math, so I'd go in and I'd just have conversations with him, just normal conversations or whatever. And like the way that he taught and the way that he treated his students, he didn't treat us like kids, he treated us like adults. He treated us like we were actual people. And there'd be times where he'd buy donuts with us or donuts for us if we caught 3 mistakes in his math during our classes and things like that. And he made school a really, really fun experience. He was somebody that I was hoping to be able to keep in contact with when I moved off to college, but unfortunately he passed away of cancer
Oh my.
the year after I graduated. But like, he is my biggest influence from a professor. Sorry.
You're good. You're
Sorry,
good.
Sorry.
You know what pisses me off is the kids that like would take advantage of teachers like that. Like there were some teachers that like a group of us like we could just be, you know, we could joke around and have fun with, but there were just genuinely some kids that I literally just wanted to like punch in the face because they're like
just outside of
purposely
them,
like
yeah.
they're purposely like asking questions over and over again just to have the teacher repeat themselves when they're literally trying to educate you. So especially teachers like that I've seen. Yeah, I hate kids that took advantage of teachers like that. So
I could go on and on about people like that. Yeah.
it's
You talk about
you're
pissing
just
me off,
wasting
bro.
time. Yeah. And just
What
being
an
annoying.
actual waste of human sperm those kids are, like genuinely. Waste of
Literally.
sexual maneuvers. I'm ooh. I can list names. That's how annoying people
This
are.
guy's got a hit list.
Oh, dude, ooh, bro, you're lucky. You're lucky I'm not an evil boy, man. Your friend,
He's
bro.
like, I got a black book about that big.
Yeah,
Names.
dude.
Speaking on what
A genuine hate. Oh,
speaking on what Sapphire was talking about, there were a couple teachers who were really awesome in my experience. One of them was one of my art teachers, a different art teacher. Everybody respected him. He was the coolest teacher anybody has ever had. And whenever The Walking Dead first came out, we watched the entire first season in his class. Just
Oh my
because
god.
people brought up their Nintendo 64 and he had this big projector screen and we'd just sit there and we'd play video games throughout his class. But everybody passed and he was very encouraging on everybody else's art. Oh, that looks really great. You should put that in a competition or whatever. He was there for all the kids, even people who didn't have his class. He would be really friendly with. He'd let people come in if they had like an off period or something. They would come in and they'd draw or they'd paint or they'd do whatever they want. because at least they were there in his class and safe
Yeah.
and not out there, smoking, doing drugs or whatever. Whenever the teacher that I mentioned before that not put me in danger, but she definitely could have stopped the danger. Whenever that happened, I had band practice that same day. And so after I was assaulted, I ran. I'm fine. And I was fine. I ran to the band room and I just sat down on the floor. And I was stunned. I was struck. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. And I was so scared. And so the band director, in the middle of doing rehearsal, he stopped and he came over and he sat down next to me and said, "Are you okay?" I couldn't answer. He said, "Okay, what happened?" So I told him, and the look on his face, I've never seen anything like that. He took me and we went to the principal and told him the whole story. And I was like, okay, maybe teachers aren't that bad. Because if he hadn't sat down and talked to me, that dude would have gotten away with it. Like, there was nothing. No intention of me going to anybody about it. And he gave me the courage to say something.
That's awesome. That's great, actually. Did it feel
There's only a
better
couple
when you
people-
were? Good.
There's only a couple people who would really do that anyways, like who are actually passionate enough to care about a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So, kind of a question with that. I mean, how personal do you think teachers should be with students? Because obviously there's a formality that they should maintain, a professional position. But I mean, I'm always a guy that's just relaxed and I personally wouldn't care that much. I mean, there's a section of being weird, of course, but just being personal, just being, because we're all just humans, and I think when you have that personal, touch along with teaching, it kind of gives comfort to the students, so that it's like maybe they're not as intimidated to go ask questions, or like Sapphire was talking about, how if the teacher doesn't seem so intimidating, or kind of that they don't care and just kind of brushing the students and their questions aside, it kind of makes a more personal and more friendly environment, in my opinion. So how personal do you think you guys, or how personal do you think teachers should be with students? Is there a line that they shouldn't cross?
I want to comment on what you said, that you're chill. You're the most unproblematic person I know. It's the most annoying thing about you. I'll be honest.
It's great. It's a great quality.
No, I'm serious. I hate that about you. You're so unproblematic. Anything. Oh no, bro! Someone just dinged my car. I'm fine, bro. No.
Well, that's different. No. Yeah.
Fine. No, I'm fine. No, I'm good, bro.
Well, I mean, when it comes, you want to have like a professional relationship with somebody. These are kids, so they're still learning stuff. They're still, experiencing things. So when something bad happens, I mean, even if it's a coworker, something bad happens to your coworker, you want to make sure that they're okay. You want to help them out. Same thing with the students. You're when they're in your classroom or when they're in the school, they're like, you're technically in charge of them. So you need to make sure that everybody's safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can get personal with them, like, oh, what do you like to do? Oh, you play basketball. Cool. I love watching basketball, and you all can, and that's something that they could use to help include the student and help them, learn things. Obviously you have teachers who are like fucking sleeping with kids and stuff like that. And that's like, that's crazy for me. Like, even if like a lot of these women sleeping with like students and stuff, it's like, damn, like you're married and you have your own kids. It's like, feel sorry for that husband that, but that's just
it's
like,
fucked up on a lot of levels. Yeah.
It's on so many.
Seriously.
But obviously you don't want to take it to that point, and then you don't want to go to the point where students learning hard, and you get just aggressive with them. You start yelling or anything like that. So you can still keep a professional level of bonding with a student without like taking it too far, in my opinion.
One thing that I find with teachers is that the best teachers that I've had know when to stop and listen, give advice, and be a teacher. You don't, if you have somebody prying into your life, you're more likely to shut down, shut off, and to not trust them. If you have somebody that's just like, hey, how's your day going? If they tell that you're down in the dumps or something like that, and be like, hey, how's it going? How are you today? Type of a thing, and can sit down and listen if you're having a rough day. Like, that can make a world of difference. And it doesn't mean that you're any closer to that person as an individual, but it just means that you have a safe place to be able to say those things. Having somebody that just sits there and listens is huge in teaching, I would say.
I like that. I like when people know when to stop and listen or care.
Well, with saying
I agree.
that makes me think too. You know these student counselors who are supposed to be there to like listen and everything. Do
The
you
ones who
think?
do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Sorry to cut you off, but you know.
no, but that's totally true though.
Literally nothing.
Because no student wants to go to this student counselor because like I personally didn't want to go because I don't know who this fucking person is, and they don't know me, you know. Even with a teacher, you're at least more comfortable with because they know you better. They know about stuff you've talked about. They know, hey, I might be struggling with this, and they can read off your body language better than this counselor that's just seen you. So, teachers could be like more of a counselor than the actual student counselor, quote unquote. It's
Because at least the
I feel like-
teachers, I mean, you're walking in every day and they're seeing you. You know?
so they can read your body language. Like Sapphire was saying, oh yeah, Jester's off today. Let's go see and talk to him. And they actually sit down with you and be like, hey, notice you're not as energetic or as annoying as you are today. Is everything all right? And then not just be like, oh well, let's go send you to the student counselor, and the student counselor is like, it's just a quiet kid, and you're like, no. Well, they'll be like, well, they don't even know this student,
Yeah. That's like almost being like a therapist. I mean, it would take multiple, sessions to really like kind of unpack what's really going on. And like you said, I mean, the teachers are more of a counselor, more personal because, they're around you. You have classes with them the whole year. And the counselor, I mean, they just know you're so-and-so from this grade. Here's the class. You're just a name on paper to them. So yeah, I would agree. Counselors I haven't had good experience with counselors. Not that I was there many times, but yeah.
Frank, use your deep voice. She might hear you.
Everything just froze up,
This is corpse. Oh.
and like everything went silent.
I didn't say make her
Oh
horny.
god.
You said deep
Right.
voice. You
I didn't
asshole.
say make her fucking horny.
Okay. All right, bud.
Oh,
Sorry
she
about
can
that.
hear us now. I think.
I can hear you guys now, yes.
Oh.
But it like
We're
froze
good?
for a solid 5 seconds, and I was like,
Wait, do you have a
why
nose ring?
everything's gonna die. Huh?
Do you have a nose ring?
Yeah.
Like an actual nose ring?
Wait, like a septum?
Like,
Oh,
when did you get that done?
Everybody gets close to the camera.
like this is
Everybody's
amazing.
Like, what's that in your
When did-
nose?
When did
What
you
is
get that
that?
done?
I just put it in.
That's
Just
what she
now.
said.
Like
no
you just,
fucking shit.
yeah.
No, I put it in before the podcast.
That's
No,
again what
And
she
like
said.
my
When did you get the
parents
kid
talk to
thing
me like
done?
I'm 5. You talk to
Oh.
me like I'm 5. My chat talks to me like I'm 5.
Well, you are, right? Are you even
Oh,
able
so
to vote
big
yet?
one.
Or
Yeah.
drink?
So that's not a real piercing.
No.
That's what I thought I asked that like 3 times.
Oh my god, just
Oh,
fuck.
Oh, my screen's
Oh
all messed
no,
up,
no.
bro.
You guys haven't seen the belly. Do you
That's
want to see the
true.
belly?
Yes!
Belly reveal. Guys, we're getting a sneak
At
peek.
8 months
This is
pregnant. Okay, look.
Baby
This is
Jester!
belly.
Yes!
How is that created? How does it happen?
This kid's too young.
I
Yeah.
feel like
this-
I explained it.
Shut up! She's
says-
talking. She's fucking telling me. Shut up.
A stork comes by with a tag that says, "Hey,
Drink
you're
this.
pregnant. That's cool. Here you go." So you take the tag, you put it on her belly, and then the baby starts to grow.
Wow.
I'm not teaching our kid
So I
that
can
at all.
impregnate a
but-
lot of women with that tag.
This kid's writing down in his notebook of dates, by the way, which you just told him. Step-by-step instructions.
Are we adding
You're
that to the
welcome.
quotes now?
Probably. I don't know where Slay is. Did you just clap? Oh, he
Yes,
has
I
one
know.
of those.
I can hear
So just so
in here.
I would say, would that just constantly change colors because of all the noise that happens behind you constantly? Or
Well, I'm about to go.
You're gonna
change
give
it.
yourself a seizure.
literally seizure warning on stream, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to change it to blue though. Give me a second.
Fucking seizure warning.
We good
Can I add
to
a
good.
chat comment real quick.
Yeah.
All
you
right.
wanna
Someone
add, Vic?
says I feel like that a short story isn't true. So are you lying to me about how kids are created?
Me?
God.
Oh god.
Well,
This is going off the rails.
No, I'm listening. I've got the iPad with a pen. I can write some notes.
see,
Go ahead.
okay, that's the thing. If you have to ask that question, then our American education system is seriously failing us in the health
Not
department
Oh, it
how-
is. It is. I can attest to that.
at all.
It definitely is.
Sex.
There he
There
is.
was never any talk about sex or anything like that. It was, hey, here's worth the wait. Let's scare you with a bunch of like diseased dicks. Merry Christmas. And just hope that
Yeah, that's basically how mine went.
Thank you. Like it was ridiculous. They were
Yeah,
like,
we-
hey, don't know how to put on a condom, but here's a picture of a dick with herpes. Yeah,
Okay.
if you have sex, this is what's
Oh.
gonna happen to you. So man, good luck. Bye.
That's
See,
fair.
we had Mr. Woody. And we had somebody come
What
in
a
as a guest
fucking
speaker.
name.
Is that
They came
yes?
in with Mr. Woody, and they taught us how to put a condom on Mr. Woody. It was his hat. And if you didn't put the hat on the right way,
Whoa,
then you
wait
were
a
going to get
minute.
a bunch of diseases.
Fuck.
Wait, how do I start listening to Mr. Woody and condoms? I was not listening, and now okay. All right.
Hi, welcome to the chat.
You want me to recap for you, or no? You're good.
No. The cap was on the Woody. We're good.
Yeah. Health. I had health in 6th grade, and then it like wasn't mandatory after that, and that was really just about bones and body parts and such. So it wasn't even like sex ed.
We also got to watch a baby be shoved back into the vagina.
What?
Why in the
We had
world
to
would anyone
watch a
do
birth
that?
Video, full motion. Like it was this really weird couple. Like I usually don't be mean to people like this, but they were fucking weird people. And we got to watch his wife have a child, and then our teacher's like, okay, now we're gonna reverse it and go again. And then she reversed it and then did it in slow motion.
Why?
And then she slow motion frame by frame rewinded it. So we watched the doctor have the child and shove it back in.
Was your teacher also grabbing themselves on the fucking dick or whatever the teacher was? Were they enjoying the video?
She loved making her students uncomfortable.
You had to think
Well,
about
it
that.
fucking
That's a
worked.
problem.
Yeah, but she was a great teacher. I'm not gonna lie. She was a fantastic teacher. It's just when it came to sexual things, she was
No.
one of those people that is not phased by it at all. And now if I took the class, I'd be
Oh.
laughing through the entire thing. But like at the time, she's with a bunch of
Yeah.
pubescent teens that are awkward in their own right and showed all that stuff, and she just got a heyday out of it.
I don't think
Oh,
that's how
fantastic.
abortion works. I mean, isn't like you go to the grocery store and like there's something next to you in the aisle. It's like, oh, I didn't want this. You just put it back on the shelf. I don't think that's how it works.
That's not how
I don't
it
think-
works.
See,
You can't just
Yeah.
be
That's what I
like, "Never
told-
mind,"
that-
and then put it back.
You don't just
Ugh.
put it back in. That's no.
That would ruin kids for me. I'd be like, I'm not having, never having kids. Never having kids because of that. I can't. Sorry. I
It's
can't-
horrible.
I
It's
can't.
horrible.
You guys want like something crazy? Is you know how I moved to different schools. I learned sex ed in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Wow.
Holy shit.
that's like overkill.
We had it in 6th grade and 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had mine and
Oh, that,
we had.
You know,
that's why he's having a
video to
child.
watch.
I mean,
Stand up for me, Frank. Go ahead.
We're good. We're good.
No, you're good. Yeah. Adjust your headset.
Smiley?
Nick.
But let's let Momma J3ster finish.
No, go
Were
ahead.
there pockets to begin with?
Momma J3ster,
No,
please don't speak
no.
until he can tell us.
No, I'm letting her
Excuse you?
finish.
No, you're good. No.
I interrupted
You
her,
need
so
to go out of pocket. Okay.
I interrupted her, so she could finish.
Oh, you're a piece of shit.
I appreciate that. I do.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank
so there was like in elementary school, they gave us a paper saying, "Hey, take this home. Let your parents read this." So, hey, mom, here you go. I don't know what it is. Just read it. And so she sat down and talked to my dad, and I could hear them. She was saying, "Are they ready? Is she ready for this? Should we tell her, or should we should just let the school tip?" Okay. So they just signed it and handed it back to me, and it was nobody ever got like what the video was about. It was what it was supposed to be about was like your changing body and puberty, what's gonna happen, and nobody ever got that. My parents didn't tell me until like 2 years ago. I mean, until 2 years later. And then in 7th grade was worth the wait, and I vomited in class. It was a fun time. After that, I was like, okay, never mind. And health, I didn't learn anything.
I was watching the show on Hulu. It's called A Teacher, and it's kind of fucked up because this is kind of off topic, I guess, but it's about a teacher that had. Well, I mean, it's a good show. It's a good show.
Yeah. It's fucked up, but you're just smiling through
It is. It's about because so J3ster. The only reason why I'm saying this is just because J3ster alluded to it earlier when he was talking about the teachers that were having sex with students, and that's basically what happens in the show. It's like a relationship between a senior, so he's of age, but I mean it's still a student. And I thought this was kind of interesting is that all of, and this is, I mean, so it's kind of it is bad because all those like school shooters that happened over the past decade and so, the thing that all those kids had in common were that they were virgins. I know I can't say that on Twitch. So I mean, in my opinion, as long as they're of age, empty balls save halls. You know what I mean? So maybe teachers.
Wait, what?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm good. I'm kidding. I was talking about all the school shooters over the past decade or so. They looked at the students, and the thing that they all had in common were that
She had to mute herself.
maybe the teachers can start getting on board. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
I'm just joking.
Hold on. No, we're good.
Frank, look at my stream.
That's a Shultz joke, by the way. I don't take credit for that, but
You have a fucking PC. Why are you looking on your phone?
because I have Discord up,
You're literally a jackass. You have 3 monitors.
I'm using them.
I'm doing this on 2 monitors, sweetheart, and I have your stream up.
I think that's beautiful, by the way, guys.
Yeah, you're out of fucking. Can
Okay,
I also
we're
comment
good.
on why my head looks this fucking wide on your stream? Why are you doing me dirty of all fucking people? Look.
Because you're an extra wide. You're extra wide. You're an extra wide. That's
I'll
all.
show you something extra wide down here in about a month. Go ahead. No, come on.
Out of pocket.
Yeah.
Out of pocket.
Except I have pockets, and I've kept them in this entire stream.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna.
Keep going. Sorry, no, continue on my bad.
Let me know when you're finished. Let me know. Just
I don't
let me know, bro.
I don't know. Am I finished yet? Just like your friend that you recorded for 25
Okay.
minutes. That ranted
Oh
on.
my
Yeah.
god,
Okay.
are we done yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Momma J3ster, for taking the time and talking with us. We appreciate.
Thank you for letting me be here. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely. We appreciate the conversation. So where can they find you guys? J3ster, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitch at Daddy J3ster. Daddy_J3ster. J3ster spelled with a 3. Same thing for Twitter, and then I'm on Instagram at a J3ster spelled with a 3. Yeah.
Nico, Sappy.
What does it matter? No one's gonna fucking follow me. Everyone hates me. Come on. Let's be honest.
Okay, ignore that guy. Yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
Well, you guys can find me at SapphireFlame24 at Twitch. That's where I'm at currently.
Nico.
Nico.
Huh? Oh. My
This
everything
guy's
is Sir Nico.
attention span, dude. I'm
Shut-
telling you. I'm telling you.
Goldfish, dude.
Okay. All right. Who? Yeah, your wife's bullying me, Jester.
I'm not bullying you. I'm just
No,
picking on
no,
you.
I'm gonna go to the school fucking counselor and talk about
Oh my
it.
God.
This
I'm
is
sorry
no.
that
Oh,
what I
that's
said hurt
pointless.
your feelings. I apologize.
I'm officially always on Momma J3ster's side now.
Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
I'll remember that if I see. No, I'll remember that.
You do
Oh,
that. You do that.
alright.
You do that.
Oh, okay. I like when you get in my ears like that. Can you remember that?
God.
Thank you. It's Sir Nico with 2 eyes on the Nico. Across all platforms. And Frank, you can stop face palming with your triple red cup drink as well. Why don't you go ahead and adjust your headset too?
It's actually double. Can you count?
Yeah,
You really
that's it.
weren't
No,
good at
go ahead,
math,
go
were
ahead and
you?
hang it. No, put it in front of your fucking really dark camera. Here, so you can see my cookies, right?
You see
can
it's a
my
2?
cookies.
I
No.
can. I
Oh,
can.
yeah, no,
Can you
have
count?
3. Go ahead.
My bad.
Let me put the camera down. You have 3 cups. You're a fucking liar. I've seen 3. I've seen 3. Is that how
Let me
sex
do a
works?
magic trick. Are
Do
we
you
5
guys
years
like that?
old? Do you remember the clown?
Will be in my house in a month and a
Okay.
half. Who wants me to fucking throat punch him? I'm fucking right from behind. I'm just gonna fucking kick him in the nuts.
You do that, I will yoink that new console I just sent you, and I'll smash the fuck
Right.
out of it.
Bro, I have another one.
I'll
coming
feed
in
it to your
after you.
gators. I'll feed it to the gators.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
my
yeah.
pet
Yeah,
alligator
it's
in the
fine.
back. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. Yeah.
If I can hug your pet alligator, please.
We can literally go down the street to the trail.
That's a
that
bit
has fucking
suggestive,
alligators
isn't it?
everywhere.
I will hug an alligator. I don't give a fuck.
I
Okay.
believe this is the
Don't
true
test me.
definition of Choch Squad right now.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Notice how I've talked the most right now.
Well, you're the
Well,
biggest
yeah,
trash.
obviously.
It's
There
just
we go.
us
Makes
flaming
sense.
each other. It's just what makes
It's
us
fucking
Choch.
great. It's fucking great.
You fucking smile, Frank. God. Hey, everyone.
Hey,
Who am I?
Who am I? Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I? Who fucking am I, bro? Who the fuck am I? I'm adjusting my headset every 2. You're such a fucking jackass.
Wait. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?
Right. You want to make fun of my food? You gotta fucking.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
I've got a
Okay.
pantry, Frank.
Why'd you have to get so close to the camera?
He had to
Okay,
show
well,
us.
How about we give Frank a round of applause for getting the out-of-pocket reward today?
Let's go. We got. Yeah, we got to award it at the end of every show. We have to. We didn't do the first episode.
Can I get everyone's opinion real quick? By the way.
Let's hear
Fucking
Give me a
Christ.
hot second.
it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Opinions?
I love it.
Any Democrats in your stream, Frank? And I'm ending with a all.
All right, guys. So we appreciate you guys listening. All right, Choch Squad episode 2 in the books. We'll be back next week. Make sure you get those questions in on Twitter, Discord, wherever. You can find me at Swainatra, SWAENATRA. You can DM any of us. Get back to you with those questions. Thank you again, Momma J3ster, for being here. And
Thank
we
you.
will see y'all in the next episode next week. Peace out, people.